We've got a lot to get to in our politics block tonight, from abortion to some major 2024 developments. And joining me now to do so is Fernand Amandi, Democratic pollster and MSNBC political analyst, and Dean Obeidallah, host of the eponymous Dean Obeidallah Show on Sirius XM. Fernand, I'm going to start with you. Vice President Kamala Harris has weighed in on this decision, the stay of this Texas ruling banning mifepristone. She says, quote, "The president and I will continue to fight to protect a woman's freedom to make decisions about her own body and access to reproductive health care, including medication abortion. No one should stand between a woman and her doctor." We also had, obviously, a statement from the president. Fernand, talk about the political impact here of abortion. You have Ron DeSantis with a 6-week abortion ban that's still in the courts. You have Tim Scott, who has said, hey, I'll sign the strictest abortion ban I can get. How is this playing out politically, do you think?
Joy, it's the Republican nightmare from 2022 carrying over now into 2024. Any hopes that abortion might have been sidelined as an issue that was going to galvanize the anti-MAGA, anti-extreme Republican electorate is just gone by the wayside. I think this ruling, not only is it wonderful, of course, for women across the country, especially to say that as a father of a young girl, but the fact that Republicans are just not going to be able to get away from this issue, it's going to be a defining one. I think the vice president's comments suggest that, and the fear, the abject fear by candidates like Tim Scott, who find themselves unable to in any way articulate a coherent response to this extremism, suggests just how much of a third rail it is going to continue to be for Republicans going into 2024. Even Trump knows that this is kryptonite, Joy.
Absolutely. And the thing is, Dean, so you have President Biden, who's likely going to announce for re-election. He's got a female vice president who's a former prosecutor who specialized in crimes against women and children. You have Republicans out there saying that adults should be able to marry little girls, that 10-year-olds should be forced to give birth. So they're saying they're out to protect children, but their policies are so anti-child, anti-girl, anti-woman. And they're going to go into 2024 against Biden that's got a good, decent economy, and they're the ones trying to tank it. And with this sort of strafe attack against women and LGBTQ people, I don't understand how they think any of that is good politics. Not to mention the guns.
Right. I don't know if they care if it's good politics when it gets to the Christian nationalist part, Joy, that you talk about all the time. They're saying, here's my religion. I'm going to force it down your throat as law. If I lose an election, so be it, because they think they're doing God's work. I really do think some of them believe that. Some of them might be political calculation, but polling shows this position's awful. And the idea they care about girls or women, when they're going to force a woman who is raped to carry a fetus to term, or they're going to force women across this country to carry a fetus to term, even though they don't want it, meaning more women will literally die because maternal mortality. So look, the GOP, this is who they are. And the one thing I would say for people, don't applaud the Supreme Court, because today they put that decision on hold. We're only here because of this right-wing extremist Supreme Court that overturned Roe v. Wade and set this up. So this is a Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, a Trump judge overturned banned the abortion pill, and now Trump judges are never going to save us. It's up to us to save us.
And, you know, Fernand, you're in Florida. Ron DeSantis, to me, feels like he's circling the drain. Everything he's doing is so antithetical to winning a general election. Trying to ban AP history, banning black history, banning abortion at 6 weeks. He wasn't even happy enough with the 15-week. Now he's going for the 6-week ban. You know, and all of this, just saying the word woke 470 times in a row, which doesn't mean anything. Fighting Disney, being anti-business. I don't even understand his campaign unless he's running to be Donald Trump's friend, and Donald Trump doesn't even like him, nor does seemingly anyone else.
Well, Joy, what's happening is he's running the Florida gubernatorial election again, thinking that playbook that worked here in Florida is going to work across the country. But what he has learned this week is that Trump giveth and Trump taketh away. The person who has, in essence, terminated the DeSantis candidacy, not even 6 weeks into the effort, is Donald Trump. He just put out a blistering statement today talking about how Florida under DeSantis is a state that is really unlivable. Costs have gone up, quality of life, the costs of renting, the cost of affordable housing. This is not Democrats or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris making this case. This is Donald Trump. And then you have the other Republican hitmen like Chris Christie circling above, pointing out his Disney stance, which seems like a suicide pact when you consider the fundamental role, the transformational role that a private sector company like Disney plays in our state of Florida. Something like $2 trillion on economic impact over the last 50 years, and Ron DeSantis is threatening the viability of that industry. I think we will look back to this week as the week that the DeSantis candidacy in 2024 was fatally wounded.
Yeah, I mean, even a former member of Congress that used to sit next to him when he was a Tea Party congressman said he never even spoke to him. The guy was a freshman, and he said he's an a-hole who doesn't care about people. Fort Lauderdale would like to have a word, because clearly he doesn't care about them because they're drowning. Dean, it doesn't seem like it's just DeSantis. It does seem like the playbook. I mean, you have a guy that's running in Ohio who says there should be reparations for white Americans. White people should get reparations. You have Carrie Lake saying that she would destroy the field if she ran for the United States Senate when she couldn't get elected governor, but still thinks she's the governor. Like, it doesn't seem like they're learning from the lessons they should have gotten from 2022.
It's like Peter Pan, Joy. They just close their eyes and wish whatever they want, and it comes true. It's remarkable. It's like, Tinkerbell, hold me, I'm governor. Look, to go back to the Senate for 1 second. Donald Trump deserves to be the nominee of this party because he defines this party. He's a white nationalist. He is a fascist. He's embraced violence. And he's delivered the judges who gave them Christian nationalism. The 3 Supreme Court justices overturned Roe v. Wade are all Trump. So when we run against him in 2024, because he will be the nominee, Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade. So the rest of them playing their little cosplay, but Trump is the guy we're going against in 2024, and we're going to destroy him.
I'm going to say something Fernand said to me many, many years ago in politics. No one's going to vote for the pretend version when they can get the real thing. Trump is the real thing. There's no reason to go for DeSantis. I listen to smart people. Fernand Vandy, Dean Obeidallah, thank you both very much.